Good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. It is Easter weekend. Happy Easter to all my brothers and sisters out there. It is it's nice to be home. We've been traveling a lot lately, and it's nice to be home for an Easter weekend. And hopefully you guys all got really great plans with family, and if not, that you're going to have some fun and enjoy yourselves. That is what life is all about. As usual, let me know where you are coming in from. Just make sure I've got everything back bumping here. All right. I think we are golden. All right, we're gonna get going. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Let me know where you guys are coming in from. I am Jason Cisneros, and this is the Built to Exit podcast that we do every single Saturday, 9 a.m. to whenever we finish. And then after we get done here, we go straight over to Twitter, x.com, and we do an after party. And that's where a bunch of business owners, friends, and what I consider at this point in time family, that's where we all get together and we have a conversation about what happened the week before, the last week. We have these podcasts, and they're not just for nothing. Okay, they're not just for nothing. These podcasts are for you to take these things, apply them in your business, see what happens, get some feedback, and then come here, watch live as we do this on all of the different channels, and then join us in the after party. There'll be about 2 to 3 minutes after we finish here. Just go to Twitter and look for @the_J_Cisneros. Follow me there, and then you'll see pop up the after party, the B2X after party. So it's been a busy couple of weeks. We've been traveling a ton. Emily and I have been putting together these cool little travel vlogs. I guess we're vloggers now with the V. And so we've been putting it together because we've found we've done like stories over time on different social medias, and we've done different things that people seem to be interested in. And the last year, Emily and I have been talking about maybe doing a vlog because there's so much stuff that we do. There's so many beautiful places that we go. There's so many great relationships that we have as we travel around. Anytime we announce whether I'm going speaking or we're doing, visiting one of our businesses or we're working on somebody else's business, there's always a really great party. We used to be called Misfit Nation back in the early days. My first podcast that I had, which was called the Bald Avenger Show. It's still Misfit Nation. Everywhere we go, we announce, and there's dinners, there's amazing things to be able to connect with people. So we started that. It's on. You can go to YouTube, and you can see it on the Built to Exit with Jason Cisneros channel. And we did our first one. Which was just basically following us along and what do we eat, what do we do, like blah, 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 these kind of things when we're on trips. So those of you that are new, number one, welcome back to all my friends and family that have been with me for years, and welcome to the newbies. If you're just now tuning in and finding out about Built to Exit, I'll give you a little hint of what we do here. We talk about things that are relevant to your business. If you never ever see us again, we want you to come to a couple of conclusions about your business life. And one of them is that everybody exits. How matters. Okay. That one simple understanding will change your business life and how you look at it and how you sequence things, right? Which is ultimately what building a business is all about. So everybody exits means that you're not going to own your business forever, which means if you're not going to own your business forever, what's the next sequence in that occurrence, right? I'm done owning my business. What is that next step? Okay. For a lot of people, 90+% of people, they won't see a business won't see their 10th birthday. So that next sequence is called bankruptcy, or shutting the business down, or having to fire your staff, or having to go get a job, or whatever. That's called an involuntary exit. When we say everybody exits, that one's involuntary. You might have a health scare. You might pass away. Like there's all kinds of things that happen on your exit, and not understanding what that next step is it's sort of delinquent in our responsibilities as leaders, as business owners, as fathers, as mothers, as husbands, as wives, running all of this stuff. So that's the next sequence. But the next sequence could be that you sell it. And we have the next one, which is also not the best, but at least it's not an involuntary exit. But the next one is called a dictated exit, which means that you sit down across the table from somebody who either doesn't know what they're doing, which is a ton of people these days, because they're all learning acquisitions overnight suddenly, right? And so they're making deals and no money down, and I'm going to buy a business and blah, 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 and then I'm going to flip a business, so I'm going to flip some stuff. I'm going to flip a business. I'm a business flipper. The world is full of business flippers right now. And so if you run into one of those jokers, you're going to have a very bad time, right? Last couple of weeks, we introduced the idea of going through SEAL training and not graduating. That's what it feels like to go through, due diligence and try to sell your company to somebody who doesn't have the money and will run it into the ground because they went to a business flipper school or an acquisitions school, right? And so that's a dictated exit. Now, the other side of that equation is you run into a professional who does this for a living, and they're going to sit across the table. They're going to know, they're going to put you in due diligence. They're going to run that due diligence as long as they possibly can, run down the value of your business while they're determining how they're going to ramp that back up, pay you, probably half of what they want to pay you. And then you'll just be desperate and you'll be like, I want out. So just pay me anything, give me anything. Those dictated exits have a high likelihood of failure, by the way. They even post-close, okay? Post-closing, sign the documents, it's moved on. A large amount of those dictated exits, they don't succeed. And the business owner ends up taking back a greatly diminished business. We're going to talk today. This subject has been on my mind for about a month and a half, and I hadn't quite figured out how to put it into a podcast yet, but that's really what we're going to address is this middle section. But the third section, and why people watch the show, why they follow me, why they've done business with our consulting firm, why they've done the course that we built, all those kind of things, is really to create the custom tailored exit that you want for you and your family. And that's for you to design, not this fake ass shit you see on, Instagram, where everybody's got to have a Ferrari and everybody's living in 18 mansions and blah, 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 blah. It's your custom. If that's what you want, great. Then custom tailor your business to be able to provide that. But if it's choice and freedom and you want to travel a little bit, you want to do some charity, you want to, close out what you're doing and go start another business. Maybe you want to have a passion project. Maybe you want to spend some more time with your kids, whatever it is for you. I'm not the one to dictate what your dreams are. You are. And that's the other part of this show. Why we exist is to tell you, number one, realize that everybody exits. How matters. What that next sequence is should be up to you. You should be focusing on it. And then the other side of the equation, the other side of the coin is that everybody exits, then there's an end game, and being very crystal clear about what your end game looks like: a paid off house, a paid off car, $1 million spinning off a 10% return every year, so you don't have to go to work. Whatever that is for you, that's your custom tailored exit. And it all has a number. Your business is a machine that creates cash. That cash should be utilized to fuel your end game, which your end game is always based in freedom. if you're not going to own your business, right, at some point in time, should create enough cash for you to be able to produce freedom. That's it. I mean, it's very, very, very simple. Okay. And we have a company that you can do that with, and we have, certified strategists, and we have systems, we have process, we have a whole team to be able to help you out. But this isn't for everybody. The information in this podcast is for everybody. It is for anybody who owns a business to be able to take this information, apply it to your business, and for you to do better. And I love hearing stories of people that they don't buy our system, they don't hire us for consulting, they don't do any of that stuff, but they take these podcasts and they cobble together in their own businesses some success. I love that. That's why we're here. Emily and I are busy making deals. We're buying and exiting our own businesses on a day-to-day basis. The B2X side of what we do is really based in passion. I built it because I was like, what would I wish that I had when I was going through all the crap that I was going through in business? B2X is it. If I had this, I would be way further down the line than I am right now, but I love where I am. All right. So anyway, so that is what we are doing. Okay. So that's so those of you who are new, welcome. I hope you subscribe, on all the channels. I hope you hang around. More importantly, as my, a lot of the family that's been here and following me for years does, I hope you share this out to people that you're getting good information enough to share it out to people that are in that situation. We are not desperate. You're not going to see a bunch of, funnels and stuff. We're not desperate for your business. My life doesn't change one way or the other if you do business with us or if you don't. My life does change if enough of you are successful in your businesses that we keep the small and mid-sized businesses open. We do 60% of the GDP. That's, 15 to 18 trillion dollars. We do 60% of the hiring in this country. And more importantly, we have a voice through economics to be able to, keep our government on a leash. Okay. That's us. That's what we do. Also, billions of dollars that's donated to worthy causes through you and through other businesses. Small and mid-sized businesses need to be open, need to be thriving, need to be supported. And I didn't see much of that happening in 2020, which is why Built to Exit now exists. So enough of that. Let's get into the subject that I have been thinking about now. And it may end up being a series because it's so crucially important right now in the day because of AI and because of what's going on in the uncertainty in the marketplace and the challenges that we're hearing. I did a video back in October of last year that said, okay, if we elect this person, it's going to go this way. If we elect this person, it's going to go this way. And because Trump got reelected, it is going step by step by step by step. Exactly what I said was going to happen is happening, which lends itself short-term pain, long-term gain especially for you as a small and mid-sized business owner. We're seeing that wake up. We're having to fall back to principles. I did a show series on business principles. We're having to fall back to these principles that, you could go all the way back because we come from a long line of merchants, right? Merchants are the ones that have changed the world. Merchants are the ones that keep the world going around, keep people fed, keep things innovated, keep our country safe. Like merchants do this stuff. You are a merchant. I'm a merchant. I'm proudly a merchant. But you go back to the first goat that was traded for the first 12 eggs. There is principles embedded in ethical capitalism. And that's what we're engaged in, right? Is ethical capitalism, because unethical capitalism leaves everybody broke eventually. It crushes small businesses. It crushes mid-sized companies. It puts people out of business. It makes basically a slave group of human beings that work for big companies or they work for the government. I don't want to do that. Owning a small business is a sheer act of rebellion. And I say this every week because it's true. And I love being a rebel. I love hanging out with rebels. I love being with people who absolutely do not want to be controlled in life. And the greatest way to not be controlled is for you to control your financial destiny. Okay. So let's talk about it. So this may end up being a series because it's so crucial. It's so near to my heart. I deal with either my wife and I's companies or our clients' companies. We deal with some of the greatest mathematicians, data crunchers, business buyers, private equity firms. We've got a lot of relationships with these people, and they're so good at what they do. They crunch numbers so well because ultimately you got to think about it. They're taking other people's money, and they're buying your business, for instance. And so that money that they're responsible for has to go into your business and make your business do better, right? That's the whole point of private equity. And if they don't, then, there's all kinds of ramifications for a private equity firm if they don't make good decisions. And so their responsibility is to come in. They've got some of the, like I said, I can't say it enough, some of the greatest minds in math, in business, and data and patterns and all of the different things that happen in business. They have some of the smartest people. And one of the things that I love is a well-run business. Like I said, I know over the next 5 years, we're probably going to service 600 businesses with Built to Exit. That's our target anyway. And when we say we're going to help 600 businesses, what I mean is we're going to help them sell somewhere between 10 and 30 million bucks. That's our target. Some more, some less, but ultimately that is our target. And I know as we went into this, everybody's like, well, what about millions of followers? I'm like, I don't really care about millions of followers. I'm not for everybody. This particular era that I'm in teaching is not for everyone. It's for people that are going to take action, that are coachable, that don't think they know everything, that come to a better conclusion that everybody exits how matters. It's going to be a smaller amount of people. And so as I started to think about those people, what came to mind was what makes a really great business. It's the ones that defy the number crunchers and the predictions and the data that's out there. And so I'm like, and that's what a Built to Exit business, that's what all mine have done. That's what our clients have done. That other people, I'm not the only consultant on the face of the planet. I'm not the only, there's other people that do this well as well. But at the end of the day, it comes down to what's the core of that business that is selling, that is defying, again, whatever business you're in, put in the chat if you want to. What business do you happen to be in? Now, when you put in that business, let's say it's a commercial janitorial in your city or in your state or whatever it is, there's going to be 30 other commercial janitorial businesses. What is the difference that makes the difference for the few businesses that are not struggling, that are actually growing? What is it? And there's, again, like I said, this may end up being a series, but I wanted to get it out because when it came to my mind, I told Emily, I said, I gotta come up with a better title for this show I want to do than the give a shit quotient. As you can see, we came up with a title, built with heart, sold with power. Why care outperforms the calculators. That's a great title. Okay. It's a great title. And it's polished and it says some cool things, and, it might be, search, optimize or whatever. But really what I'm trying to say is you can't beat a business owner that A, gives a shit, and B, systemizes that give a shit in the performance of the business. You can't beat that person. You can't beat that man or woman. You can't predict with data and math what that person's company is going to be worth, right? You hear them talked about as unicorns. And, unicorns are, you think about them as maybe like an Uber or big companies, but I don't think of them that way. What I think of them as is a common business, trash collectors. I think of painters. I think of drywallers. I think of, I think of all of these different industries. What's the unicorn in those spaces? And those are the people that they give a shit so much, right? Our core, if you've heard us talk, if you've heard me open my mouth one or two times ever in my entire life, you're going to hear me say that business, one of its core principles is to fall in love with the outcome of someone else, right? The outcome of your target audience. Fall in love. It's not get a little excited about it, be pumped up, get the right marketing, get the right color, get the right font, get the right, all this other kind of stuff. No, it's fall in love. Anyone watching this that has fallen in love knows that is not an act of common sense. There's nothing commonsensical about it. It's like, I don't know, where did this come from? Why do I feel this way? Why do I feel like I got some wings on? Why do I feel like I would run in front of a truck for somebody? Why can't I eat? Why can't I sleep? Why is my heart beat faster? Why do all I think about is this person? There's nothing commonsensical about falling in love, but it happens. And when it does, it's amazing. So when we think about the business and you're falling in love with the outcome of your target audience, I don't care what it is. People's like, oh, well, it's just a business, and I got to pay my bills and blah, blah, blah. That's the difference. It starts to separate you away. The companies that we've worked with and that I've worked with and then I've spoken to, I've been with over 1 million business owners around this world. And the conversations always come back to not how do we just get by and what do we do? No, they have this passion. Then they give so much of a shit. And it may be washing cars, right? It might be whatever. It might be something that doesn't seem sexy, but there's so much passion because you fall in love. It's not the act of washing their car. It's the act of building a relationship with the person who's in the car to want them to come back. And the person who's washing the car for you as an employee to fall in love with their life and how can they utilize your system, your process, your business? How can they utilize that to meet and their own dreams and feed their family and put a roof over their head and do things that they never thought was possible? These are the people. These are the unicorns of human beings that then build unicorns of businesses that can then be systemized. It's not just being a unicorn though, because you can give a shit a lot in your business and still go broke. You can give a shit in your business and still never sell. Less than 7% of companies that ever go on the market even sell, right? It's the give a shit and a system, right? Those two things combined, in my mind, are absolutely, undeniably undefeatable. Okay. I don't even know if that's a word, but I said it is. So what are the three things? And again, like I said, this may end up being more than one show, but 3 things that I wrote down that I keep notes here so that I keep myself on path, because I will be here for 3 hours. If not, I love being able to get together with y'all and be able to spend time with you and then be able to pass this information off. But I do write down notes to make sure that I get at least these 3 bullet points across so that you can take them and utilize them for you over the course of the next 7 days. Okay. So customers, employees, and purpose consistently outperform. I don't know what's going on. Well, we're just going to keep going here. I absolutely don't know what just happened. Maybe the streaming. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Sorry, hang tight. Okay, well, I think we are off on a couple of other platforms. I'm just going to keep going. I'm just going to keep going. All right, so let me make a quick note that we are at 26 minutes was where mistake was made. All right, cool. So anyway, care kills the curves. Businesses built with deep care for customers, employees, and purpose consistently outperform their competitors, even when all the spreadsheets say that they can't. This is that give a shit level, that level of care for businesses that I was talking about that cannot be quantified. And I know a lot of business owners have that, but that spark that's missing sometimes, that spark that what causes a unicorn to appear, that spark exists in the end game. If you think about it, as I've come across these unicorns, as I've built these unicorns myself, it's always tied to the end game. The end game gives you the fire to be able to then be able to give a shit about not your clients and also your employees, and then flip that. And then you realize, oh, I've got to have systemization so that that passion also translates into how my employees are treating my customers, and how those customers are speaking about us out in the world, and how many return purchases we're going to get from those customers, and then how many referrals we're going to get from those customers. It all ties together into a system. So that's the thing that actually outperforms all of the data that's out there. So that's number one. Care kills the curve. Number two, love plus systems. And love, it's always amazing to me how many times I get people that think love is weak. It's like when you say that word, but I'm telling you, we do again, in the rescue world for the last 10 years of my life, love is powerful. I've seen love overcome life and death situations. I've seen love of these little girls that we go after in these undercover rescues. I've seen love overcome all the odds, find these kids when nobody else could. I've seen love, help put roofs over domestic violence survivors' heads. I've seen love fill the bellies of people that are starving. I've seen love, fill the bellies of thousands of employees because of the love of one founder. I've seen love is so powerful, and it may be a little bit more at my forefront of my thought because it's Easter weekend, but love has changed the world, continues to change the world. And so when you combine that love into what you do, what you put your hands to, what you put your mind to, what you put your heart into, when you combine that with systems that create wonderful outcomes, again, you're unstoppable. You're unstoppable. Okay, so that's number two. Number one, care kills the curve. Number two, love and systems equals being unstoppable. And number three, the data is wrong about you. There's so many things, whoever you are, whatever age you are, whatever height you are, whatever skin color you are, whatever sexual preference you have, whatever neighborhood you come from, data can be wrong about you, right? Wall Street and analysts and algorithmic models can't measure heart, culture, and grit, but buyers pay big for companies where those intangible assets are systemized into value. Okay. You can't, those three words, think about it: heart, culture, and grit. And there's ways that you can systemize all that, but you have to start with heart. If you don't have heart, then there's nothing to build around. If you don't understand that the culture is not about you, it's about everybody that partakes in being around you, from customer to employee, your culture, then there's nothing to start with, right? If you don't have that grit to overcome overwhelming odds, then there's nothing to build a foundation upon. Those three words have to be present. Now, those three words are present, you're capable. Every human being on the face of the planet is capable of exuding those three characteristics. But failure tamps it down. Bad relationships, it tamps it down. Health, not taking care of your health, alcohol, drugs, tamps it down. These are the things that tamp it down. But if you can wipe that all away, which is why this show exists, is just to say there is other people that live like this. There are other people who have made different decisions. I came from a really shitty background, overcame a lot of bad personal habits of my own, personal choices of my own, and learned what were the things that I needed to do. And lo and behold, once you get all of that garbage off of what your past, your dad, your mom, what the world thinks about you, what everybody else is doing, blah, 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 and you crush all of that away, lo and behold, what was able to come to life was Jason Cisneros, as I was meant to be. Same thing for you. And when you do that, you're going to have a company that, yes, it's going to produce money. Yes, you're going to be able to have a great exit. Yes, but more importantly, it's going to be an expression of who you are in the world with the ethical capitalism at its core. And ethical capitalism just means that you care more about somebody else's outcome than you do your own. Okay? Very simple. Very simple. So those are the three things. Care kills the curve. Love and systems equals being unstoppable. And number three, the data is wrong about you. Okay. There's companies, there's things that I don't know, again, what happened with this broadcast. I don't know who's still watching. I don't know what channels I'm still on, but I'm still talking because we're recording and this will come out as a polished podcast next week. But I want you to take those three items and I want you to plug those into your algorithm, your thought processes. I want you to look at your life, your business, your interactions with your customers, your interactions with your employees. And I want you to just simply upgrade your give a shit. Upgrade. And it's really just getting out of the way. I know people that watch me. Look, if you're just chasing, fake bullshit and all that, and you're out there pounding your chest and, and like, you don't have a six pack, you're a loser, blah, blah, blah. Like you're following all that bullshit. You're not going to be here with me. But if you are here with me and this is more than your first time, or this is your first time and you're going to come back because something resonated, if that's you, then you have that in you. I'm not surrounded by people who are assholes. I'm not surrounded by people who are greedy at their core. I'm not surrounded by people who think that you can fill a hole in your soul with bigger houses and cars and cheating on your spouse and all that. I'm not surrounded by those people. I'm surrounded by people who have a great heart. Yes, have made mistakes just like me, but they're ultimately interested in serving humanity, and their business is one of those vehicles to be able to do so. That's who I'm surrounded by. So if that's you, welcome to the family, welcome to the party, welcome to, coming here every single Saturday, and seeing all of the amazing things that are going on out there. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. A couple of things that you can do. We just launched a brand new jasoncisneros.com. You can go and check that out. Give me some comments of what you think, and and we'll go for there. You can sign up for that. You can go to builttoexit.biz if you want to know more about how we help companies. And we've got a really, really great, assessment that you can take for your business. We're about to put that behind a paywall because it is actually very, very helpful. We've had a couple people try to swipe it from us already. So probably going to put that behind a paywall. Go over there, get it while it's still free. I am proud of you and being a business owner. I'm proud of I know what it takes. I've been there. Like I said, I've had offices that I slept in. I've had a cot for my son because I was working on plans until all hours of the night. He needed a place to sleep. I'd fall asleep with my head on my desk, wake up, get the crews out in the morning. I know what you go through to try to make ends meet through this rebellious act of owning your own company. You could phone it, you could call, you could go to work for anybody. You could go on government assistance if you wanted to, and there's no shame in that. My family, that's how we got through some days when I was younger, government cheese and food stamps and the shame on my mom's face. So I'm not saying that but you choose to take a shot at controlling your own destiny through your business. That's what I love about you. I don't even know you. I may know you. I may not know you, but if that's you, I already love you. I already love your heart. I know that it's going to be more successful for the you that exists, that loves and cares deep, that the more you let that out, the more powerful of a business owner you're going to be. Don't follow this bullshit you're seeing everywhere. Like, it's great to be in shape, but how many of these guys with six packs that are yelling at you that you're a loser, do you really want their lives? Like, you dig in and you go, oh, they're on their 16th divorce and their company's falling apart and everybody hates them as employees and blah, blah, blah. Like, just look, it's all, literally, you can look how you want to look. And I'm not saying you shouldn't be in shape. I work hard on being in shape. But I work hard on being in shape, not to, impress people or tell them, oh, you're a loser. It's not that. It's because I know when I'm in better shape, I've got more energy to serve more. I've got more energy to love my wife at a deeper level. I've got more energy to support my kids at a higher level. I've got more energy to go into the philanthropic stuff that we do. That's why I do it. Not as a point of being better than anyone else. So that's the family that you're at. I could keep talking about this all day long. I don't even know if anybody's still watching me live, but it is what it is. So those of you that are watching this on replay, that we're watching on some of the other platforms, we'll figure this out. But you can always go to YouTube and see this edited and up on YouTube at Built to Exit with Jason Cisneros. I love you all. I'm proud to be a part of the small and mid-sized business owner community. I'm proud of my team at Built to Exit. I'm proud of all the people that work for me in my other companies. I'm proud of my wife. We work really, really well together in our acquisitions and our exits that we're doing. And I've got a hell of a lineup of friends that I absolutely adore in being in business. So we'll see you again. Now, those of you that are still watching, if there is anybody, go to Twitter right now. I'm going to close this down here and we're going to start a spaces. Just go to @theJCisneros and we're going to start a spaces over there to talk about what we talked about today. Now, I know a lot of people watch me actually on Twitter, and I think that was one of the streams that we lost. So join me. And if nothing else, you can join us every single Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on whatever platform you happen to be watching on, but we're always on Twitter. I say that, and today maybe I think we're not, but so I love you guys very much. Thanks for being part of the family. Go check out the new jasoncisneros.com and let me know what you think. I always love it when those of you that know me go and check it out, because you can send me DMs and let me know if there's a misspelling or if there's a 404 error or whatever it is. You guys really help me fine tune everything that we do with your suggestions. So I appreciate that a lot. All right. We'll talk to you again next week. I'm Jason Cisneros for Built to Exit, for me, my team at corporate, for all of our certified strategists, for my entire team on any of my businesses. We love you. We hope you have an amazing week. Put these things to work in your own business, and you too will be built to exit. Peace.